Hey, bourbon brothers and sisters, Angry Mac here, and if I popped up on this algorithm, please subscribe, hit that button. We all have things in common. Today, I would like to talk about 3 craft distillers that are distilling their own product. 3 craft distillers that deserve some recognition that you should be hunting. 3 craft distillers that are from around the country to show you that these people, these distillers, can craft, whether it's in Kentucky, whether it's in Pennsylvania, or whether it is in Washington. So that's 3 completely different areas of the country. And they're doing it right. And as you can see right here, what we have here, these are not legacies, these are not heritages, but once again, craft distillers. They're not sitting behind a big marketing team and 7 bazillion barrels and 13 rickhouses. These are real people, families getting together, working hard to bring us some great pours. These are real people putting their heart, soul, passion, love into all of this. These are people distilling, fermenting, and making what you're drinking. They're putting their finger in, they're tasting it, they're throwing out the bad stuff, they're figuring out the new stuff. For whom? For us. But they wouldn't be doing it if there wasn't a passion. I think that drives a difference between the craft and the big brand. So the 3 I have in front of me right here are Neeley Family, Kentucky, Woodinville, up there in Washington, and McLaughlin in Pennsylvania. Now, you probably have heard of 2 of them, but McLaughlin is probably the smallest of the bunch. But let's start from my left. Neeley. Old school distillery. Old school. Pot stilled, sweet mash, family recipes, distilling, fermenting, everything done on there. They're curating and developing a brand that's been around a while with family and a small staff. I went to the Kentucky Bourbon Festival 2 years ago, and I was talking to Rebecca Neeley, who I adore, and everybody knows that. I don't hide it. She wears a hat better than anybody. The tattoos. She's got a great energy about her, and I find she's an incredible woman of whiskey, but I digress. And I said to her, I said, I'd love to get to the distillery. She goes, can't go today. Just about everybody's down here. So they are a really small operation, and most craft distillers are. So they're offering you character. They're offering you big flavors, big taste, oily textures. They're offering everything that you would want in a whiskey. You know what they're not offering you? These big influencers selling their bottles. They're word of mouth. They're out at festivals, at different locations, but they're not sending representatives. They're going. Royce is going. Royce Neeley is a master distiller, trying different things, innovative, finishing, straight punch it in the face, subtle flavors, whatever you want. He's down there doing it. And that's really important. This is something that you need to try because Royce is a master at his craft, really bringing you some great product. This is real whiskey, real people that you should be trying. This bottle right here is the Neeley Family Distillery, the old Jet Brothers, signed by Royce. I was at the Kentucky Bourbon Festival last year, and I said, Rebecca, what should I get? She goes, Mac, you have to get the maple finish. There's only about 8 bottles left. I said, yes. She said, do you want to try it? I said, no. If you're telling me it's a must get, you get it. Rebecca Neeley tells you, this is what you're buying and this is what she's recommending. I'm going to tell you something. 1, I'm going to buy it. And 2, I'm afraid not to because I'm afraid I'm going to miss out that greatness. Amazing people. Love my visit there. Can't wait to see them again. Now, the second one we're talking about is going to bring us from Kentucky, and we're going to go to the Pacific Northwest. The Pacific Northwest, out there in Washington, different climate, colder, warmer, nice changes. Woodinville. Woodinville is really doing some great things right now. I don't know if you ever had Woodinville. I do love the shape of the bottle. They do stand out on the shelves. My first venture with Woodinville was the 90 proof, and it was very okay. And I would recommend anybody gets a Woodinville, you want to go 100 and above, because once you hit 100 on Woodinville, it's killer. I had their special rye, I had their special bourbon they just put out, and all I could say is, oh my God, it does match up with every single thing out there. They're not trying to be Buffalo Trace Northwest. They're trying to be Woodinville, and they're embracing Seattle. They're embracing the culture, and they are thriving on who they are, building their own identity from the Pacific Northwest, trying to be anything else than they want. They're aging out there. They have a real identity. They're embracing. They're doing it right. Their rye is a killer. Their bourbon is absolute full flavors, and their finishes, this is their apple stave finish, which I absolutely love. It's a very light pour. They know whiskey. Woodinville understands the craft, and they're starting to understand more and more what people want, I think. I think that over the past, I would say 7 or 8 years since I've noticed Woodinville, their product is dramatically increased exponentially over the years, which absolutely amazing. Which brings me back to the East Coast, more towards the East Coast, Pennsylvania. McLaughlin Distillery, this is the $37.99. My baby barrel is gone right now. The one that I barreled myself and picked myself was absolutely phenomenal. But I was there I can't remember the name of the town in Pennsylvania. Little towns like Saukatony or something like that. Pennsylvania, they all sound the same to me. So we drive up there, my son and I, to Squirrel, and this is the smallest of the room. We pull up to this old house. The building is an old house that was owned by a hoarder that they completely cleared out, and Kim McLaughlin, the owner, did almost all the work himself. He builds his own barrels. He built the rick house. He built machines to put labels on easier. It was such a small operation. Everything was done on site. It is the size of probably a 4 or 5 bedroom house that they put a little extension on the back. He's got washing machines doing stuff. I mean, it's like a mad scientist genius who does everything. Former Marine, I believe. So God bless you, Kim McLaughlin. Was lucky enough to spend hours with him at the distillery, getting to know him, getting to know the operation, the people that work there. And, because he's the smallest, all of these craft distillers are fighting such an uphill battle with distribution. I mean, I just read something about Neeley Family that they were able to ship to like Korea. I can't get them shipped here to New York, yet they go out to Korea. But I digress. That 3-tier system doesn't help America. I'm just calling it what it is. So the interesting thing about McLaughlin is all corn. All corn, great flavor. It's not a legacy. Legacy is not dominating the flavor in here. The flavor is dominating the flavor. They're not creating any hype. They're going out once again all the time to the local shows. You see them once in a while on social media, but if you ever get a chance to get down there or to see them or pick up a bottle, I'll tell you what, the $37.99 or the baby barrel is where you want to go, but they had some incredible offerings. I mean, absolutely incredible. They had vodkas, they had spirits, they had everything, all made on premises, all bottled on premises, labeled on premises. As I tell you, I don't understand how they get this much work done in such a small spot. So the legacy is dominating, but these crafts deserve your attention. They deserve to be seen. They deserve to be talked about. They deserve to be drank. They deserve to be shared. I've been sharing these like crazy. Look at what's left in these bottles. Distillers, especially these craft distillers doing their own, they deserve recognition because it's goddamn hard work. Nobody's helping them. They're out doing their self, fighting the barrel. McLaughlin matters. Woodinville matters. Neeley matters. McLaughlin, they're old school equipment. They're real production there. They're real people, as they all are. None of these are overhyped. They're probably barely hyped at all. None of them are coming from a boardroom of people. We're coming from a family. We're coming from a small family start, and we're coming from an ex-Marine. Tiny, trying to bring big things from the craft to you and I. So, a couple of aspects before I finish up here about the craft. They're not the same. They're not the same as Legacy. Craft distillers are not the same as craft MDP either. The culture is different. You have your NDP, your bottlers, and I love NDP. I love NDP when it's done right, and that's going to be a whole nother discussion, but these are just craft distillers who distill their own. There's nothing wrong with a good NDP. I believe, and I don't want to take anything away from the independent bottlers and the blenders, what they're doing, but I believe this is the hardest work of the bunch. I'm just saying, I could be wrong. It's only my opinion. could ask my wife. She probably has a different opinion. She always does. So the message here for you today is support the craft distillers, the whole craft, the NDPs, the bottlers, whatever, and let's recognize what these people are doing to bring us. Let's recognize today the Neeley family, Woodinville, McLaughlin, Kim McLaughlin, because they're out there distilling, fermenting, trying, experimenting, wasting stuff for us. Let's reward the craft distillers by giving them a try. And I'm going to tell you right now, I promise you that if you try these craft distillers, you will like them. You will like them. Right now, I'm going to try this craft distiller right now. I haven't had this one in a bit. Still's got a nice pop on it. This is the apple stave. This is only 100 proof. This is you could smell the apple. As soon as you pour that, you could smell that sweetness. These aren't just different because they're craft. They're different because they're coming from real passionate people where I feel the legacy and the heritage and things like that. Yes, they're passionate. Not the same. This smells like an apple cider. This is just so good. Cheers, everybody, to 100 proof. Yeah, this is great every time. This is great every time. Buy some Woodinville. Buy some Neeley. Buy some McLaughlin. Give it a try. And remember, find the people you love. Give them a hug. It's never what's in the glass. It's always who you're sharing it. Although, you probably should be sharing these craft distillers with your friends. Cheers, everybody. Till next time.